going to jump into some basics here, and I'll be quick. Each of these videos will be brief or quick, but this is the general Salesforce interface. Now I'm actually going to show you how to log in. We're in a sandbox here, so let me just log out of that sandbox. Now, if you wanted to log into a basic instance, you probably won't see this --8020. That is the name of the sandbox we're logged into. If I wanted to log into my Get Real org, it usually looks something like this. You'll have your domain name .my.salesforce.com. In this case, we're logging into a sandbox, and this is 8020.sandbox.my.salesforce.com. All right. So we're going to log into this guy, and I've got the username here. Usually has something appended. It's usually the name of the sandbox, so .8020. So my general username would say getrealdev.com, and now we've got the .8020 on there to represent this 8020 sandbox. Put in your username and password. Nothing unusual there, and I'm going to log into that sandbox. So most of the time you'll be in a production org without any of that sandbox stuff to worry about. Here I am in a sandbox just for demonstration purposes. So I first log in, come to the home screen, and then we'll cover a little bit of the general layout and the home screen here. So starting at the top, left to right, in the very top middle here, we've got the global search function, very powerful AI based. You can search for nearly anything in the platform. I could search for a phone number, an address, a person's name. I could search for a user. And this will look through the platform and find anything that it can, any of these records related to that. So our suggestion is always, before you create an account or contact or lead that you're not sure is really new, always search it in the system. Right? Always search it in the system and see if maybe Abigail shows up. And before you make a new one, to try and avoid duplicates, right? And then you can search by specific objects too. So that's a powerful tool. Get used to using it so that we keep the database clean. Here's your favorites list. So you can favorite records and objects along the way. So there's certain things that are more important to you and more useful in your business process. Go ahead and use that to your advantage. And then it shows up in the mobile app and in the home screen in different places. You see those favorites pop up. This is a global actions. So if you want to create a generic task, event, send an email, create a note, contact, lead, etc. This is a generic or a global way of doing that. Not a lot of people use these because when you create a task, you then have to select what record it's attached to. So it takes a little more time to get those set up versus just creating it in a record. And within that record, it will automatically attach to the lead or to the task. This is an important one here, this guidance center and other learning materials that Salesforce has. The guidance center gives you articles and tidbits, help along the way on the page you're on, but also there's what's called the trailhead. You'll notice the same icon here. The trailhead is an just vast wealth of knowledge, this infinite space of everything Salesforce. From the very, very basics, intro level, all the way to deep development and custom coding. They've got little 5 to 10 minute modules with sandboxes and training materials and storylines and quizzes at the end to help you learn Salesforce. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on the platform. I'm going to recommend, if you want to learn more, get an account, go to the trailhead and start using its power. It's really useful. From here also though, help and training, you've got a lot of other information, but you also have support. So if you're in Salesforce and you've got questions on things or there's things that aren't working the way you think they should, you're welcome to submit a support ticket or case directly to Salesforce. This setup icon, if you've got Sales Cloud is this blue gear. If you've got Service Cloud, you'll see a purple gear. Also some other development capabilities there. Most of you don't have to worry about that. If you're an admin though, you'll get used to that setup. There's a lot of setup in the back end. Your notifications, nothing unusual there. And then your profile. Now I've got a picture in here. You may see a little avatar character, and that's no problem. You can click on that and update your profile. And that avatar character's name is Astro. And you can update Astro with your picture. You can also go into your profile settings. There's a whole bunch in there. You can change your email signature, connect accounts, email accounts or calendars. You can change your notification settings for Chatter. There's lots of things. Your email, you can give yourself, you have your own little profile. I guess I'll just jump into it. So you set a background image and a few little things, and you can see your Chatter posts. So a lot of good things here. Mark yourself out of office, etc. So that's the top banner. I'm just going to skip down to the bottom. Here's your utility bar. Now this utility bar is specific to the 80/20 CRM app. And I'll cover in a second. If you go to a different app, you might have different utilities at the bottom. Now to get to a different app, there's this 9-box or app launcher or waffle. The app launcher here allows you to go into different apps, right? So in an app is a collection of tabs with some different layouts usually. So the 80/20 CRM app, the app that we deliver, action plans we deliver, get real data. This is all API connection to skip trace and county record data. If you're using 360, there's DocuSign. You'll notice the DocuSign icon is missing in sandboxes. And if I want to see more apps and more objects, I can click that, view all, and now you can see, man, there's all of these different places I can go. These are objects and tabs and pages. There's lots of stuff in here that I can get to. If I want to search an app, I can, or go to the App Exchange and install something new. Across the top are different tabs, are different apps, lightning pages, what they call them, or objects, right? So home is a lightning page, and on the home page, you usually have dashboards or visuals, hubs to jump to different things. So here I can see my assistant. It's going to lead me on to new leads that came into me, or maybe opportunities that need work, AI-based, to recommend, hey, here's the things that have come in or things that are getting old that you need to work on. Today's tasks that I can mark complete or jump into. My events or calendar for the day, I can jump into that calendar also, some recent records. And then we have deployed custom page layouts that allow you to collapse and expand sidebars. That's not a typical Salesforce out of the box, but we've deployed it just for user experience, make it easier to hide and show things, expand the page, especially for dashboards and things that need a little more space. And you can custom tailor this home page. These are just little widgets, so you can drag and drop different widgets onto the page. Now to do that, if you've got access, hit the gear icon and edit page. That edit page is going to take you into this Lightning app builder. And there I can drag and drop different components from this left-hand bar. Lots of things, a lot of cool things that Salesforce delivers out of the box for you. You can play with those and get familiar with them. But then we also have delivered a number of custom apps that you'll see if they load. It takes a little while, which there's a bunch of them. Once those load, we'll be able to see those. And you can rename the page. You can change the format of the page. So getting into a little more detail than necessary, but just know that you can do those things. And if there are lots of other pages, lead pages, opportunity pages, that you can also modify from there. All right, let's go back, leave that guy. Now other tabs across the top, tasks, as expected, where your tasks are. We have some custom objects that we deliver in properties and property transactions, the list builder, markets, calculators. There's a number of things that we deliver here. Leads and opportunities are what's called standard objects, standard to Salesforce, contacts and accounts as well. And then campaigns, calendar, analytics files, those are standard Salesforce objects. So when you click into a standard object like leads, it'll pop open a list view. The list view is fully customizable. You can change with this gear icon. I can change whatever I'd like. I can rename the list. I can clone the list to create a new one. I can change the filters, the fields that are showing up, and then I can pin or unpin the list that I'm interested in, right? So this is my leads. That's what I've pinned so I can see those leads. I can change it to an intelligence view. It's more of an AI-based view that's going to give me some more information and cards on what I've got going on. This is activity-based, what's happening with these. I can bookmark those if I need to keep some of them higher level. I can perform some quick actions. There's a little bit more, and you can create new views of this too. So list views are really powerful. Let's slice the world however you want to see it. I won't go into all the details of what we've added here in this case, just want to cover Salesforce 101. We've also got buttons here. So these are list view buttons. So I can click those, and a number of these buttons are bulk action buttons, right? So it'll edit those. If I'm in a list view that is filtered by record type, what's called record type, which is you can bucket your records into retail, REI, construction, different types of leads coming in, Then I can also inline edit some of these. So if I grab 3 of these and I want to change the lead source, I can update all 3 of those to something else. All right. And I can create a new lead. There's a few ways to create a new lead. So I can hit the new button here from a list view. I can drop down this chevron here and I can hit new lead there as well. And when you click a new lead, it's going to open up for those that have access to multiple record types. You'll see those different record types. And then it's going to open up a modal that will allow you to add data in for that lead. And that includes anything with the red star as a required field, something that Salesforce or us we've deemed as necessary to have adequate data to move forward with the lead. You can assign it if you're maybe an analyst or maybe you're a data manager and you want to assign these manually. You can assign them using an assignment rule. There's round robin. There's lots of options. You can have it go to a queue. A lot of options for those leads. All right, so I'm going to go back to my leads. That's my pinned list. And I'm going to click into one of these leads. We'll just go into Abigail here and show you what a record looks like. Now again, this is not standard Salesforce interface. We have customized it to make it more user-friendly. We've added a number of components too that are unique to 80/20 CRM, such as the select active property with access to county record data that'll pull in the property details. I can skip trace, I can head to Zillow, and then I can link multiple properties to this lead. We've got this is what standard Salesforce looks like, is called a page layout, record details here. And you can customize that page layout and edit any data in there that you'd like to. We focus on trying to keep each user within their business process. And so a lead manager or an inside sales person would usually live here in this panel, and they could even get rid of the left-hand panel if they want to. This is our lead intake form that targets the right data at the right time, color coordinated and icon based, allows you to know exactly what you're looking for, where to get it, how to add it. So when you're on the call, super easy to get to that detail. So up here, this is called the highlights panel. You've got additional buttons, lead buttons that you can use to perform actions on the lead. I can follow that lead, so it'll hit my chatter feed and I'll see updates along the way. I also have what's called a path, or in this case, we're using the stages or lead statuses for this path, but this is a high level bucket of where this lead is currently. A path can also have guidance for success attached to it. Now this usually, depending on the status or stage you're in, it'll say, hey, here's the main fields to collect, and here's a brief snippet on what we think you should be doing, right? So we've added here, we want to find marketing qualified leads, right? This is new, it's separated, it means it is marketing qualified. They raise their hand, hey, I'm interested. And then we want to respond within 5 minutes and gather the right detail for those leads. I'm going to go ahead and close that. You have your activity hub here. We won't go into super detail on that. That's not common to Salesforce. We've created a custom component to make sure those activities are in the common place. And then you have your activity timeline that'll show your tasks and events and notes and different things in that timeline, chatter feed and additional objects. Something else to be aware of is this related. All Salesforce is built on objects that are related to one another. And so I'm on a lead, might have properties related to it. I may have skip trace the person and communication records. I may have comparables related to it. It's in a certain market. So you want to be familiar with knowing that, hey, I'm on a record, but I've got all these related records and this related data to it also. Super useful to know. Brings a lot of power to the CRM, and it makes it extremely scalable. And so you can always find the data you want, and it's organized, and it's a really nice thing. So once you've worked a lead and converted it, it's going to jump into an opportunity to also have a transaction to go along with it. When you convert a lead, it also creates a contact and or account to go with it. So the person here, Abigail, would become a contact and or account, maybe a person account since there's no company here. So Salesforce was built originally as a B2B tool, platform as a service. They've expanded to consumer as well. And so you have what's called person accounts. So Abigail would be the account and contact in one. It'd be the person that we're selling to or generating revenue through to some extent. Now, if it were a business, maybe I'm buying from a wholesaler or it's a brokerage, I would put that company name in there, and that would create an account. and tie Abigail as the contact to that account. So super important principle to understand. Campaigns, tie your campaign data in, your calendar shows your events, etc. A lot more here. So that's a really quick rundown of Salesforce, the interface, some of the buttons, some of the layouts, and how to use it. There's a whole lot more here, like years and years worth, but just wanted to give a pretty quick rundown of the interface, some of the general location of the buttons, and how to use it. So thanks for following along. Hope to see you on the next training.